Implementation is a process that turns strategies and plans into actions in order to accomplish strategic objectives and goals. Implementing your strategic plan is as important or even more important than your strategy. While speaking to delegates during the high-level budget dialogue in Kampala, Professor Ezra Suruma, the former senior advisor to the President of Uganda on finance and economic planning, encouraged the government to put more emphasis on implementation strategy, prioritization and employment than just having developmental programs on paperwork. This came after Joseph Enyumu, the commissioner from the Ministry of Finance, listed a number of programs to be worked upon.
We are investing and promoting interventions that will generate more jobs and wealth. We are focusing on export promotion and import substitution or replacement, and promoting private sector lending.
And for me, if government were to achieve just that, increase production and ensure that there is a market for the increased production, for me, I would be satisfied if that were to happen. Now, of course, it is one thing to say what you're going to do. It's another to do it. And so, whenever these dialogues take place, I would like to hear a little bit more about implementation strategies. Because anybody can read the speech, and I have read many in my life, and even got standing ovation in Parliament.
Like many African countries, Uganda faces the problem of poor or failed implementation of state policies and government programs. There is a big gulf between policy making and actual implementation.
Quickly. Implementation is a tragedy in this country because you have very nice ideas on paper, but you can't implement them. That's why you have projects of 10 years that should have expired 5 years ago or 10 years ago, but they're still in our books because we've never finished them. Why would you want to sign off a contract when you have no right of way? Or you want to sign off a contract for a road, but you have no feasibility study? So we need to work out the implementation and ensure that those who want to run government programs are ready. Even with PDM, why would you want to send money to Ministry of Local Government when some of the parish development committees are not functional? So implementation is one of our biggest challenge. So to revamp the economy, we need to deal with that.
I think what Professor Suruma is talking about is that actually, yes, we have good policies, we have good laws, we have good programs, but I think now talking, the time for talking should end and should begin action. Because you see, you can have a very good program in place like the parish development model. If you don't actually plan for it and implement it, then it remains a theory. So he's saying, and I agree, that it is time for action. For countries that are going to actually recover very fast are those that are going to start implementing. But of course, we're also not going to delve into this parish development model without proper planning. You must prepare even the population. And I also agree on the model that is proposed, Suruma and others, that you may not need to start with the entire country. You may not have that money, but you can start with a geographical area. You could say start with northern Uganda.
Suruma further challenged stakeholders to desist from politics of empty promises. This trend has been going on for decades. Even more troubling, lying is still very commonplace among government officials. One could argue that being lied to by politicians has become normalized and is occurring more frequently. Pedson Mumbere, Smart 24 TV.
Then work on the roads and work on water. Very, very basic things. And keep, but prioritize. Because we know you can't do them all in 1 year. We'd like to see that these are the priorities of government. This is the progress at which we've made. And brothers, we know that we are all in politics. And we have to make promises in order to be elected. But we are tired of promises. We want to be told what has been accomplished. so that we vote for you on the basis of what you have done rather than what you